If you're a diehard fan of Gossip Girl, there are probably tons of behind-the-scenes facts you already know about. There's a chance you're a true expert on the show, but you might still be in the dark about some of the chaos between the actors when the cameras weren't rolling. Here's your breakdown of 25 behind-the-scenes facts you might not already know about. Here's why Blair Waldorf's mom was recast after episode 1. It's widely believed that the original actress who was chosen to play Blair's mom was replaced because she appeared to be too young to be the mother of a teenage girl. The actress everyone saw in episode 1 was Florencia Lozano, and she was replaced by Margaret Collin from that point forward. There's no denying that Margaret did an amazing job playing Eleanor Waldorf for the rest of the show, so none of us can really be upset about the actress swap. Blake Lively was chosen to play Serena van der Woodsen over Jennifer Lawrence. It's pretty obvious that Blake was the right choice to be cast as Serena, but that wasn't always an easy decision for casting directors. According to Vanity Fair, Jennifer was really interested in snagging the role after auditioning for it. She ended up feeling bummed out that she wasn't chosen, but it all worked out for Jennifer since she went on to star in the Hunger Games franchise, American Hustle, and Silver Linings Playbook during the years that she otherwise would have been busy filming Gossip Girl. On a side note, Rumor Willis was also considered for the role of Serena, but that obviously didn't work out either. Leighton Meester was chosen to play Blair Waldorf over Ashley Olsen. Can you picture someone else playing the role of Blair as flawlessly as Leighton? She never missed a beat handling the dynamic and complex princess-style character of Blair on the Upper East Side. Interestingly enough, Ashley was also considered for the role of Blair. At the time, Ashley dyed her blonde hair a dark brown shade to prove that she was dedicated to the role, but it still didn't work out for her because the role was meant for Leighton. Taylor Momsen was chosen to play Jenny Humphrey over Lily Collins. Maybe it would have been better for Lily to get cast as Jenny instead of Taylor, because Lily likely would have stayed on the show the entire time. As we know, Taylor decided to part ways with Gossip Girl early, which left a gaping hole in the show since Jenny's character arc was extremely important. Lily would have been a great fit as Jenny since she was passionate about the role. She told Glamour magazine, "I wanted it so badly." Michelle Trachtenberg was chosen to play Georgina Sparks over Misha Barton. When people think of Misha, they often think of another teen drama called The OC, but things could have been different for her if she had moved forward with Gossip Girl. She starred on The OC for 4 seasons starting in 2003, so there actually could have been a chance for Misha to star in Gossip Girl without any overlap, since Gossip Girl didn't premiere until 2007. However, Misha still decided to reject the part. This ended up being great news for Michelle, who killed the game in the deliciously vindictive role of Georgina Sparks. Penn Badgley once described Dan Humphrey as a judgmental douchebag. When speaking with Vulture, Penn talked about the fictional character he played on Gossip Girl without much love or admiration. He said, "He's not real, he's a tool on a show with soap operatic arcs, and he needs to be a judgmental douchebag sometimes. I get that. I don't hate anybody for that. But it sucks when people call me Dan and think that I'm him." Ed Westwick faked an American accent to play Chuck Bass for all 6 seasons, even though he had a British accent in real life. While watching Gossip Girl, it's hard to notice that Ed is actually faking his American accent the entire time. In reality, he doesn't talk in such a dark and brooding manner. Growing up in the UK, Ed constantly watched American television, and that's what helped him figure out how to fake an American accent to take on the role of Chuck so successfully. Chase Crawford admitted to hosting parties similar to Nate Archibald's parties in real life. While Chase was playing Nate on camera, he hosted parties behind the scenes that would make Nate proud. Chase admitted it during his Call Her Daddy podcast interview with Alex Cooper. Chase also explained that he was living with Ed Westwick while filming the show. He said they would host wild parties and they'd even invite other celebs to join them. "If only we could have been a fly on the wall at those ragers." Jessica Zor claims she embraced the cringiness of Vanessa Abrams while filming. Jessica did an excellent job playing Vanessa on Gossip Girl, but that doesn't mean fans were always obsessed with the character arc. The actress opened up about the public's perception of Vanessa in an interview with Teen Vogue. She said, "If I annoyed you and you cringed at Vanessa, then I was doing my job, because some of the stuff was that way." On the other end, Vanessa was also a relatable character in the sense of there's a very small percentage of people that live on the Upper East Side and have these $1,000 bags and drive limos to school. Most of the world can't relate to that. Vanessa grounded the show and brought this thing where she had a regular job and had to work for her money and didn't go on these crazy trips and wear these crazy outfits. Blake Lively and Penn Badgley dated for 3 years before marrying other people. One of the reasons Dan and Serena's relationship seemed so believable on screen is because Blake and Penn were actually dating each other in real life. They dated for 3 years before parting ways and tying the knot with other people. It's widely believed they called it quits because they felt their real lives were overlapping with the fictional characters they were playing too much, and they wanted to create some separation. Blake went on to marry Deadpool actor Ryan Reynolds in 2012, and Penn went on to marry a professional doula named Domino Kirk in 2017. Producers considered Nate Archibald or Eric Vander Woodson to be Gossip Girl at first. The producers in charge of Gossip Girl knew all along that they didn't want Gossip Girl's identity to be given to an actual girl. The characters they had in mind were Nate and Eric. They ended up going with Dan later on, even though that wasn't always the plan. When the script depicting Eric as Gossip Girl got leaked, they had to scramble and change the ending. Leighton Meester and Sebastian Stan dated before she married Adam Brody. Sebastian Stan starred in episodes of Gossip Girl over the years, but he didn't confirm his relationship with Leighton until 2009. Their relationship didn't stand the test of time, and they called it quits in 2010. She spoke about the breakup with 17 magazine, saying, "I've only had one experience where it was really hard and I was really sad when it ended. But that's what taught me a lot about myself and love and life. And that's good." She went on to marry Adam Brody in 2014, and they now share 2 kids. Ed Westwick and Jessica Zohr dated off and on from 2008 until 2010. Ed and Jessica's characters, Chuck and Vanessa, briefly hooked up on Gossip Girl. However, the actors behind the roles also dated off and on for a couple of years in the real world. Relationships that are off and on typically aren't built to last, so it's not all that shocking that they didn't work out. She ended up marrying Brad Richardson in 2024, and Ed ended up marrying Amy Jackson in 2024 as well. Taylor Momsen left Gossip Girl to focus on her music career. Fans loved seeing Taylor take on the role of Jenny on the show, but in real life, Taylor had other passions to focus on. She wanted to excel with her band, The Pretty Reckless. She dipped out on Gossip Girl to go on tour and continue recording music with her bandmates. Truth be told, losing Taylor from the show was a genuine loss, whether you loved or hated Jenny. Leighton Meester also pursued music while filming Gossip Girl, but she didn't quit the show over it. Music has been an important factor in Leighton's life, but she was still able to stick with her role in Gossip Girl regardless. One of the biggest songs she ever released was called Somebody to Love featuring Robin Thicke. It was part of her 2010 album, Valentine's Day. Her song Good Girls Go Bad with Cobra Starship was also featured in Season 2 of Gossip Girl. Some fans are convinced Jessica Zohr dipped on Gossip Girl because of her failed relationship with Ed Westwick. Jessica was actually pretty fed up with the character of Vanessa by the time she left the show. She exited Gossip Girl before the 5th season premiered. She opened up about her reason for the departure according to J14, saying, "After playing someone for 4 years, it can be a little repetitive. I was ready for a change. I had so much fun and made friends I'll have for a lifetime, but I got the most I could out of Vanessa." Gossip Girl almost ended up being a movie instead of a 6-season show. Can you imagine if Gossip Girl was a one-off movie that didn't offer us 121 jaw-dropping episodes? Movies are great and all, but they're so short-lived and definitive. They typically only last for about an hour and a half. There were so many convoluted stories told in Gossip Girl. Therefore, the only correct avenue was for it to be a long-lasting show instead of a one-off movie. Leighton Meester ditched her naturally blonde hair to play Blair. While watching Gossip Girl, seeing Leighton with her chocolatey dark brown hair feels totally normal. All is right in the world with Leighton's brunette tresses. But in reality, Leighton had to dye her naturally blonde hair a darker color to snag the part of Blair since casting directors weren't comfortable taking on 2 blonde actresses for the leading roles. Blake Lively was allowed to keep her blonde hair to play Serena, but Leighton simply couldn't keep her blonde hair to play Blair. If Miley Cyrus hadn't snagged the titular role in Hannah Montana, we probably wouldn't have gotten Taylor Momsen as Jenny. When auditions for Hannah Montana on Disney Channel were actively happening in the early 2000s, Miley and Taylor were head-to-head against each other for the leading role. Fortunately, everything worked out exactly as it should have because Miley did an amazing job as Hannah. And Gossip Girl simply wouldn't have been the same without Taylor, even though she didn't stick around for the entire show. Ed Westwick's band, The Filthy Youth, had songs featured in Gossip Girl. We know Taylor Momsen and Leighton Meester were super focused on music while filming Gossip Girl, but it turns out so was Ed. He was the frontman of The Filthy Youth, and his song Flash All You Ladies was actually featured in an episode of the show. The cast of Gossip Girl is obviously far more musical than anyone might have guessed. The Gossip Girl episode Valley Girls was supposed to lead to a spin-off about Lily Vanderwoodson's youth. Would you have been interested in watching a spin-off show about Lily as a teenager? The episode that focused on teenage Lily visiting her sister in Los Angeles was supposed to pave the way for a full-fledged spin-off, but the network never picked it up, so it didn't go anywhere. Characters Serena, Blair, and Dan are the only three who appear in all 121 episodes of the show. Out of all the lovable characters on Gossip Girl, Serena, Blair, and Dan never missed an episode. We're well aware that Jenny and Vanessa left the show early on purpose. As far as Nate, Chuck, Georgina, Eric, and all the parents go, there were tons of episodes they each simply didn't need to be present for. January 26th was officially dubbed Gossip Girl Day in 2012. Who wouldn't want to celebrate Gossip Girl since the show was such a beloved success in its day? Celebrating Gossip Girl on January 26th is something die-hard fans can do by binge-watching episodes, showing love to the cast members in their social media comment sections, posting thoughts and opinions about your favorite episodes online, and streaming music from members of the cast. Blake Lively is open to a reunion. When asked about linking back up with her co-stars to film a Gossip Girl reunion, Blake sounded more on board than ever. According to Vanity Fair, Blake said, "Of course, I'm open to anything that's good, that's interesting, and that sort of feels necessary. I imagine we all would consider it. I can't speak for everyone else, but we all owe so much to this show, and I think that it would be silly not to acknowledge that." Leighton Meester is open to a reunion also. Leighton told the same publication, "I guess I hear that reunion talk in fits and starts here and there, but it's hard to say. If everyone was into it and if the timing was right, you know? I don't want to say, no, never." Knowing that the two main characters are open to the idea of a reunion is the best possible news for die-hard Gossip Girl fans everywhere. What are your thoughts on all these behind-the-scenes details about Gossip Girl? Let us know in the comment section below.